So we're downstairs in Shane Speal's second shop. Call it his office. I'm here with Gary Korb, our editor for Cigar Advisor magazine. I'm John Pulo from Cigar Advisor magazine with us. Well, actually, we're at his house. King of the Cigar Box Guitars, Shane Speal. And we're going to look today at some of the guitar boxes, or some of the cigar boxes that you like to use.
Right.
And talk a little bit about the cigars that came in them to kind of get a feel for, again, cigar guys love everything about cigars. So
right.
We'd like to talk about the cigars just as much as like we talk about, or what we like to talk about, what we can do with the boxes too.
Well, this is kind of like, and this was my request to you guys, because I've been building these cigar box guitars for 25 years, and there's certain boxes that you see a lot of them, we use them because they make great guitars, and I was wondering, what are the cigars that came in, kind of like, for the people that are also building the guitars, give them an overview, kind of like a Cigars 101. And maybe they can try them out. There's something magical about when you're building a cigar box guitar, actually smoking one of the cigars that you're building from. I don't know what it is. It's all to bring more of this passion together.
We're starting with La Roma de CUBA, which I think is what you have here.
Yes, it is.
You're starting off with big flavor right up front.
Okay.
So La Roma de CUBA, this is probably about a Churchill size box. And we've got, this is the La Roma de CUBA Immensa. This is the core line. So Nicaraguan cigar from my father, Tabacalera in Nicaragua. Probably about a medium body. This is actually a Cuban Revival brand. So if you're working this box, you see the artwork that's on here is very, very similar to the Cuban brand that was revived from the late 1800s when my father Cigars brought this box back to life, or brought this brand back to life.
Wow, I had no idea.
It is a legit throwback.
They like using the original neoclassical artwork because it comes from the original Cuban brand, and it just gives it that classic, sort of appearance and feel, like you're getting a box of Cuban cigars.
So everything about this cigar is classic.
Oh yeah.
So I make, this guitar actually was made for me by St. Blues Guitars.
Okay.
Out of Memphis. So if we're talking about a classic cigar, then we're wanting some classic blues on here.
Absolutely.
To kind of go with it.
So that soft feel, right? That
Yes.
kind of sultry feel to it. Nicaraguan tobaccos covered by Connecticut broadleaf.
Yeah.
Medium body. This is a great step up cigar.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're only used to smoking mellow cigars, and you want to step up to something that's got a little bit more body flavor, so something like we just playing got a little bit more depth, got a little bit more feel to it.
Right.
That's what this cigar is all about.
What kind of beer would you pair that with?
Ooh. I'm not really a beer guy, but probably an IPA.
Oh, really? A bitter IPA for something like that?
Well, it's got the sweet Connecticut broadleaf wrapper on it.
And, I would think a good classic lager may go with that.
Well, see, I'm not a beer guy.
Okay.
You know more than I would.
Gary rips on the hard stuff. That's why we love him.
Yeah, but it's got some sweetness to it, that wrapper.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Which, so I don't, and then you have that spicy, earthy Nicaraguan core in there. So
that's making my mouth water now.
It's got a nice little bit of bite to it.
Yeah, it's bold. It's a bold, full flavored smoke, and you probably want to play more of a heavier blues. That's the guy.
Where I kind of crank it up a little, where I give it this. Okay, I've got this guitar here. This was made for me by Thunderbird Cigar Box Guitars. And this is Arturo Fuente Double Chateau.
Double Chateau
Fuente.
It's a beautiful cigar.
It's
and as you could tell, they aged the box to give it that old rat rod look to it. But tell me about the cigar first, and then
this is the Double Chateau.
Okay.
The double Chateau Fuente comes in 3 wrappers. One is an Ecuador, Connecticut. One is a sun-grown Habana, which is a little bit more on the spicy side. And there's also a Maduro, which is, again, it's got that sweet component, but a little bit more intense in the flavors. So, I mean, you're looking at first family of the first family of Dominican cigars, the Fuentes. Been around for 100+ years. I mean, this is, you know, the recipe for success here. A very mellow smoke.
Okay.
A lot of times, Fuente is a good go-to just because you can pretty much find them anywhere. A good starter, especially in the Ecuadorian
Absolutely.
Connecticut. I mean,
So
what
if
else?
someone's
That's what
never
that
gotten
has.
into cigar smoking, well, they want to try one out, this is a good...
Not only is it good, but it is a good buy. So if you're new to cigars,
Uh-huh.
you don't want to spend a fortune because you know what you're getting into. You want to spend
Right.
$10 on cigar. But for $4 or $5, even less, depending on what size Fuente it is, you can have a really
There's a
delicious
couple of
cigar.
Nice.
You can have this. This is cheaper than a ham sandwich.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that...
Seriously, you can have.
There we go.
This is cheaper than lunch. You know,
That
especially
works.
when, like you said, you can
Yeah.
go to a place where a cigar is going to cost you, especially depending on where you go,
Yeah.
$10 or more.
Right.
This is cheaper than a drive-through.
And it smokes like a $10 cigar.
Nice.
That's the
Yeah.
best part.
So you're saying the wrapper will change the taste. You said the Maduro
It will
wrapper
affect
is
it.
sweeter.
Absolutely.
What were the other wrappers you...
Well, John, I think you said the sun-grown.
There's a sun-grown Habano and there's a Maduro. So this was Ecuador, Connecticut. So it's got a lighter shade.
Right.
So you can talk a little bit about the different flavors of Habano versus
Sure.
Maduro versus Connecticut.
Well, the Connecticut, what we have here, is kind of a natural sweetness and almost like a hay-like quality to it. A little
Ooh.
bit like a grassiness.
Right.
You know, probably more so with genuine grown Connecticut than Ecuador, Connecticut. The
Interesting.
difference is in Ecuador they have natural cloud cover, so you don't need a tent to shade the plants. It's done naturally
Really?
by just the clouds. So that's why the wrappers tend to be a little darker than a Connecticut shade, because they have because there's breaks in the clouds, so
Right.
little sunlight gets through, and So anyway, so that's kind of a more of a like I said, kind of a sweet, aromatic wrapper. The sun-grown is a little, I guess I don't want to say spicier, but it's
got
a
some
little
bite
more
to it.
bite to it.
Okay.
So it's a little more, And then the Maduro is sweet because
Right.
naturally because of the way it's grown on the plant and aged and everything. So it's dark, and the darker it is, usually the more sugar there is in the wrapper, which makes it sweet.
Interesting.
It's got
That's
that
something I
dark
didn't
beer
know.
feel.
Yeah.
Not
You
the
like it?
dark beer feel. For me, that's I'm
Yeah.
always looking for a cigar that tastes like a porter, a Russian Imperial Stout.
So you know how they'll say, I'm not a huge beer guy,
Right.
but I know enough that just because a beer is dark doesn't mean it's strong.
Correct.
Same thing goes for cigars.
Okay.
So just because this Fuente may be in a Maduro doesn't necessarily mean it's stronger than the Habano.
Right.
As a matter of fact, it's probably going to be a little more smooth and a little more easy smoking than the Habano.
But it's still gonna, if it's darker,
It's
it's
got
still
that
gonna have that
heavier-
sweeter
It's
mouthfeel.
going to have a little more
yes.
natural sweetness. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. I like sweet cigars.
So we're talking mellow and sweet. So if I take this, we want
This is
mellow and
definitely
sweet.
mellow and sweet.
Something like that.
Some good morning blues.
Oh
A
yeah.
good morning cigar.
Chateau Fuente Blues.
Yep.
And-
Nice.
Yeah, and the Chateau line is like kind of a cut above their main line. Also,
Okay.
So they all have the cedar sleeves. That's also how you tell the difference.
I was wondering about that. I
Yeah.
didn't know if that was paper. That's a
No,
cedar
it's cedar,
sleeve.
it's cedar wood, and it keeps that kind of like aging room bouquet to it. So it has a nice woody flavor to it as well. If you like a nice woody component,
Yes.
you probably do because you work with a lot of wood. So that
As
would
I
be good
said
for you.
out there is nothing like working in the wood shop, and when you cut into a cedar lined cigar box,
You get that aroma.
the
Oh, yeah.
sawdust mixed with the tobacco that
Mm-hmm.
that has infused into the box is heavenly.
I think it's time for the Portofino.
Yeah, one of my
Oh. All right, hold on. The angel, the angels are starting to sing. Heavens open up, and a beam of light comes down because I'm about to have a religious experience here.
And
That is the Macanudo Portofino Cafe. This is the Macanudo Portofino Cafe cigar box guitar that I built in 1996, and I have been playing ever since. And that little cigar has inspired almost 10 albums of music, thousands of hours of performing or playing. You know, that little cigar has changed my life.
I'm not surprised because actually, when I first started getting into cigars, I smoked these all the time. I just loved mostly the aroma of the cigar. It just smells great. I guess you would know that.
Absolutely.
Right? You smoke them, but it was very mellow in flavor and sweet, and it just had that just nice woodiness, which it has a cedar lined. If I can get this out of here, cedar lined tube. Which gives that nice cedar quality.
So coming in a tube is almost like its own mini humidor?
Yeah, and also it's great for travel. Obviously,
Okay.
You want to go down to the local
Golf course or
distillery
wherever.
or whatever, yeah, or the golf if you play golf, and just any outdoor kind of thing, and it's great because it's convenient. But I tell you, that is and it's kind of a cool looking cigar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
Panatella.
Skinny.
It's very
that
Clint
kind of,
Eastwood.
Yeah, very like like 1960s a la James Bond.
Yes.
Kind of, slick, kind of thing. But it's Macanudo Portofino, great cigar, a great starter cigar, and a good change of pace cigar too.
Sure.
Yeah, Portofino is, like Gary said, a great change of pace cigar. It's also, I think, the golf classic.
Oh, really?
Because it's even though it's a skinnier cigar, it's a longer cigar. You can pick it up, you can put it down. If you haven't seen the beer girl for a couple of holes and you're feeling a little dry, it's not going to overpower you.
Right.
Because it's still on the mellow side. And plus, in this tube, you just throw it in your golf, two or three of these in your golf bag. You can smoke 3 of these, 2 of these in a round of golf.
Beautiful.
You are ready to go. So, go ahead.
No, just what's funny is maybe because I was just starting out smoking cigars and I didn't have a sense of size, so to speak, but I just don't remember this being that thin. But it is.
Yeah.
I thought it was thicker for some reason. But it's just a great cigar. Yeah.
So that's my
So
classic.
something very kind of sinewy and...
No, there's only one thing that I would do. I would crank the reverb.
Okay.
I would pull back the tone. I would turn it up. And I would just give it one of these. Experience right there.
Now, here's a question. Do you know any reggae?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Macanudo got its start in Jamaica.
That's right.
Oh, I was in Jamaica and I saw so many Macanudos there.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Macanudo was originally a Jamaican cigar. It's now made in the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
And it used to have Jamaican tobaccos in it.
Jamaican tobacco is excellent, by the way. When it's
Really?
Right. Yeah.
Well, they
It
got
used to be very
excellent coffee there too. So.
good. Yeah, they have great soil, and that's what it's all about. It's always about the soil.
So we're talking Punch Chateau. I've got this guitar, and again, this is another one made by someone else. A kid named Casey Barron from Long Island, New York. He's 18 years old. He's a phenom, and
Nice.
he also builds incredible guitars. He made this and gave this to me last year. So this is the Punch Chateau Maduro.
So
Ours,
I
ours
just
must
wanted to
be
get...
lost in the mail.
So people make guitars for you
Yes.
as well. It's not
Yes.
just you. I mean, they
No,
want
but
to
here's-
impress you. Is that it? Do they want
Well,
to
there's
honor you?
Sometimes we trade.
Oh,
Sometimes
okay.
people send them to me because I have my YouTube channel and do
Right.
that. There's a brotherhood or a friendship that goes on in the whole Cigar Box Guitar community, and just about every person I know that builds guitars says they've probably given away at least 25% of the guitars they've built, myself included.
Wow.
You build it and you see someone that would like it. It's like, here, have it. Because you know you're only out $20, $30 or something like that. And you know it's going to rock someone's world.
Well, it's like that with cigars too, right? We do the same thing.
Yeah.
Really?
Exactly. Yeah, oh yeah. There's shorthand is BOTL, Brother of the Leaf.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it is this whole brotherhood that people get it together. They want to smoke. Look, some people like to smoke alone. A lot of people like to smoke together. That's why you have a lounge. Is your safe, sacred space.
Amen.
Right. So this is your. I'm trying to think of how somebody had once described it, but basically like your temple of tobacco and relaxation, right? So you get to just chill, hang out with some other people. You talk about cigars. You talk about nothing that has to do with cigars. It doesn't matter. You want to watch a game, it's on. You want to sit there. You want to read a book. You want to read a magazine. Occasionally, chirp in on somebody's conversation. Whatever. You're just sitting back. You're relaxing. You're enjoying a connoisseur quality product.
Some of
It
the
is relaxing,
Yeah.
and you just hang out with other people that like to do the same, and you want to compare notes about stuff you smoked. You want to talk about, hey, I just saw that, great thing about the Dominican Republic. Did you see? Oh, so and so just got new stuff in from Punch, and it's just
wow.
And how
Yes.
often have people come into our office and said, "Oh, I didn't try that cigar," and we'll say, "Oh, yeah, here," we're just.
But
we'll
it's going to rock their world.
Yes.
It's just, you do that, you want to just share that awesome experience.
You want them to enjoy it exactly. Hopefully they'll have the same experience you've had, and then you're really, really bond, because now you have that in common.
I do have to say, some of the best business meetings I have ever had were with Ben Giddy Baker from CB Giddy, where we went to a local cigar lounge, where we cut out early, and whenever I was up in New Hampshire visiting him, it'd be about like 2 o'clock, and he goes, "All right, we've done enough of this work, let's go." And we sit and we have 1 or 2 cigars, and I swear to God, we came up with some of the best ideas for musical instrument parts or kits or things like that over cigars.
It's amazing.
Over
yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
And I think it's the relaxation as well too.
think about that the next time you see some poor soul slaving away over a book in Starbucks.
Right? That's so true. So true.
So this says the King. Your nickname is the King of the Cigar Box Guitar.
Yes.
How'd you get that name?
How did I get that name? I gave it to myself.
As all good nicknames should not be.
Why not?
There's a reason. There's a reason for it. This was back before all of this took off. When the cigar box guitar was a dead instrument. It was dead to history. And I was on the internet back in 2002, I think it was. And there was absolutely nothing on the internet for cigar box guitars. So I created a page. One of those GeoCities pages. Remember GeoCities? Yes. I created my own website, free website. And I showed free plans, and it was very simple. How to build a cigar box guitar. And at the bottom I said, since nobody else would ever claim this title or be smart enough to claim it, or dumb enough to claim it, I declare myself the king of the cigar box guitar. That's like declaring yourself the king of rhubarb pie chefs. I mean, it's the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And so I've kept it for the absurdity of it. I mean,
That's
Well,
awesome.
it works.
it does.
It works. Nice.
So what about this cigar?
So it's actually called the Punch Deluxe Chateau L.
Okay.
So that's the full name. So this is the cigar
Look
that
at
goes
that.
in this box. So this is a Honduran cigar that is wrapped in a Connecticut broadleaf, but it's cured to what's called oscuro, which is Spanish for dark. So you have the typical range of the colors of a wrapper you're used to seeing. We saw the Connecticut on that Fuente was a little bit lighter.
Right.
Right. So we saw some of the Maduros are like a brown. This is like a very, very dark brown. Some Oscuros are almost cured nearly black.
Yeah.
But they're super oily
Look at that,
wrappers.
sugar.
This is all the natural
Oh, look at
oils
that.
and
Look at all the
sugars
bumps on
and
there,
the
man. It's like it has
sheen
goosebumps.
And the tooth, this thing basically has goosebumps. There's little pockets of oil that are on here. But this has a nice oily sheen to it. It's on this Connecticut broadleaf. It is a super fat Churchill. You smoke this thing, it's going to easily take you 2.5 hours.
Easily.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, all day sucker.
And you should
yeah.
always take your time when you smoke a cigar, too. Always just let it rest. Enjoy the aroma as it's sitting in the ashtray or in your, between your fingers. and then about a minute or so, take another hit off it, and just enjoy all that.
Let me tell you something I've learned about smoking cigars in my wood shop.
Okay.
My guitars take twice as long to build.
That's right.
Because I
You gotta
relax.
charge more money.
And the guitar, it's like I go to a certain point and the cigar is just slowly burning there. And it's like, I just want to sit back and take a look at how I just sanded the neck or how I just did this. And it's zen. It's absolute zen.
That's what these do.
No,
So
that's
these
a
are
beautiful
dark,
cigar.
strong, and they last long.
Not as strong as you think. This is, Punch has a reputation that as a very hearty cigar, real in your face kind of. Like they had, what was it? The tagline is
A cigar lives up to its name.
Nice.
okay,
Yeah.
but these Punch Deluxe is more like a connoisseur quality cigar.
Ooh.
Very smooth.
Like
very
how a good
woody.
whiskey is aged
Sure.
after a
Yeah.
while.
Okay. You know, you take a belt of whiskey.
Yes.
It's got that bite, and it's like kind of dries you out a little bit. This is more of a really well-aged single malt. Then it goes down
little sipper.
smooth, no burn, just good.
Yeah.
Oh, that would make me like. So I'm doing the music that would go along with that. I would want to do something that sometimes my band, when we start a song, it'll last 15 minutes. You know, because you get into that.
That's just the intro.
Yeah, exactly. you dig that pocket and that's the type of thing where I just want to play that all night long. You know? Okay.
2.5 hours of happiness
There you
right
go,
there.
yeah.
Beautiful. Of
It's a beautiful
bliss.
thing.